Hey everyone, habari zenu, como esta, uhoro wanyu, guten tag, konnichiwa, and all the other greetings. It is Kenyan Hippie back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much, asante sana, for hanging out with me and supporting me. If you are a person who if you just came across my channel, I hope you will stick around and enjoy and learn something and subscribe.
Biological thing, but as something that has just been created as a social construct.
The black and white on federal forms, it needs to go. But even then, when you look back to slavery, slave trade, again, nothing to do with black and white, because when you start going down that road, there are black slave owners. What are you going to say about them? It was about the money. It's always about the money. So I disagree with him that race is a biological thing, because I don't consider race a biological thing. It's very much a social construct. I'm not black, I'm just me. African American, call me African American. People are not colors. So again, when it comes to race construct, I am unfortunately going to agree with her, because it is very much a social construct. It's this human beings' weird and twisted way of trying to understand the differences between their physicalities.
Biological differences that
sir,
exist.
you're very convicted in your lack
different.
of information
People can
around these things. Race and ethnicity are two different things, okay? Ethnicity is where you're from. Race is literally something that was created to put people into categories of caste.
I agree with that one. Unfortunately, I hate agreeing with her. Damn it.
To put people into categories of oppression. Race is not something that you are.
I don't agree with the oppression thing. I mean, okay, historically, yes, the racial categories were used to oppress, white space, black space, black people not allowed at this fountain, white people allowed at this fountain. Look at South Africa, apartheid. So let's not pretend that did not happen. But then now it's just being used as a divisive measure. It's being used by the Democrats to get votes. If you're black, vote this way.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
Joe Biden. If you don't know if you're for me or Trump, then you're not black. Ew. So what did they do? They went and voted for him anyways. It was so weird. He might mean Biden. That was the day I was like, you bitch, and I voted for Trump. But anyways, she's right and she's also wrong. I disagree with the oppressor thing, at least as pertains to 2025. Before, yes.
Race is something that was bestowed and put upon you.
That's racism, not race. Race is simply the aggregation.
No, race is literally something that was created and put upon you.
Racism, Jesus. Race is a social construct. Racism is what is birthed from this social construct. There we go. Problem fixed. Now shut up.
And I want you to listen to me as somebody who has studied this, who has a master's in African American Studies from the Institute.
Whenever someone says they have a degree, a PhD in African American Studies, that'll make me actually take points off of your credibility, not add on to it. Because that just means you've been highly indoctrinated and you just know how to make these points of victimization, but using bigger words. You have an intellectual way of debating victimhood. That's all that tells me, honestly. Big deal. And what's another thing? Can we point out the fact that, again, this has happened to me multiple times. Liberals, leftists have a way of, when they like to show dominance in a conversation, so they will bring up their academic qualifications. Oh, what are you talking about? I have a degree. And I'm like, I have one too, but it's not relevant to this conversation, so why did you bring it up? It's just a show. It's like a peacock showing off its feathers. Look at me, I have a degree. African American Studies. Honey, I'm African American. I don't have to study that. I just know. Plus, I'm from the continent. What are you going to tell me that I don't know? What's the money I know?
For research in African American Studies at Columbia University. I want you to understand very clearly that race.
Liberal arts colleges are just indoctrination camps. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
I think that you are at a phase of your learning where you are a contrarian, and I look forward to seeing your development, because I have a feeling that you're actually going to flip the script eventually, because you are somebody that definitely is grounded in wanting to learn facts and wanting to learn the truths of things. However, you're currently still stuck in an indoctrinated space that is tricking you into thinking.
The irony of an indoctrinated person calling someone else indoctrinated is not lost on me.
Are something that you are not. You are a Black person who is literally having to receive the results of racism, but
literally, once again. Take a shot each time she says literally. I'm sorry if you throw up afterwards.
Ultimately, you are of an ethnicity that has thrived in spite of it. And that is where we really exist from. And that is where our resilience comes from, in spite of systemic racism.
I think our resilience...
Okay. Systemic racism, let's talk about it. If systemic racism was real, dark-skinned immigrants would not make it in this country. They would have a very hard time being successful, finding jobs, thriving. And I'm not saying becoming millionaires, I'm just saying surviving and achieving the American dream. But how many immigrants have you seen legal? How many even illegals, honestly, they do well for themselves, it's just they're not legal. How many immigrants have you seen come into the country and within 20 years they own a home? They came from nothing, most of them. Not everyone. Don't get me wrong. We didn't flee our countries. But they come here and they see opportunities and they grab them. They take them and they grow. Because they're not picky about the kind of jobs they pick. So this systemic racism nonsense myth was debunked a long time ago.
Level of systemic racism exists. So Thomas Sowell has done good work on... back in the 70s, he showed that second-generation West Indians living in the same city as Black Americans were earning 58% more, right? So they're both being treated to whatever degree badly by white people. Whatever system you want to suppose is holding Black people back is equally affecting both of them. The Columbia sociologist Van Tran has a great essay in which this difference is brought out. You find neighborhoods of Black Americans right next to neighborhoods of Black West Indians in New York. They're equally segregated from white people. Mm-hmm. So
this is why I listen to people like Larry Elder. Because systemic racism is just, again, it is a concept that's used to keep people in the victimhood and push the victimhood narrative. Yes, there is a system that's keeping you that way. It's called welfare. Get off it. Become a productive member of society. And marry. Stop getting baby daddies all over the place.
Is happening now. I think growing, understanding the real problems, not going out and trying to protest against... You guys don't ever do this. KTS...
That is where our resilience comes from, in spite of systemic...
Have they thrived, though, if they're always screaming about how oppressive America is? I'm just wondering. I will say chocolate conservatives have a very different outlook to these leftist loonies who are the blacktivists. Very different perspectives on life.
You guys, you earlier said BLM is about police.
Stop referring to me as you guys.
Okay, that's fine. So, for example, we had a really good example of this where it's not a police, because I remember you said...
Where are you from?
Where am I from? What do you mean by that? Like, what state am I from? Where was I born?
Where do you live right now?
I live in Florida. I was born in Angola, though. I was born in sub-Saharan Africa, okay?
Where did you grow up for most of your time?
In Maine. I lived in North America.
In Maine?
Yes.
And what is the population of Black people in the town that you're from?
It's really...
And I mean, he moved here as a kid, so most of his life he's been American. But for us who have been here less than 20 years, I have seen things for myself that make me a very good candidate for these kinds of debates.
Extremely low, but I grew up around Black people, and there was a Black community where I lived.
And that Black community that you lived in, did they teach you about Black history in the United States?
Like,
are your parents Black American?
Yeah, my mom is Black. My father is Black.
No, I'm asking, were they born in the United States?
No, because I wasn't born there.
Oh, so you guys are all from Angola?
Yes, but again, like I told you earlier, right? In terms of people like...
What's that look? It's also she looks like she's disgruntled, because then obviously that explains why you don't understand the Black experience, because you're not from here. That's the insinuation in her response.
people like KTS Stray that were shot, BLM doesn't come out for them. And I remember you earlier said,
think it's really
hold on, can I
important
please finish? You earlier said that BLM is worried about police, but when Daniel Penny choked out the man that we all know was causing violence on that subway train.
He was not causing violence.
Yes, he was. He was causing trouble. Why the hell was he put in a chokehold? Why? Okay, this is my critique of BLM. You guys have heard this a million times before. BLM only matters once every 4 years. Words by the very wise rapper Tom McDonald. BLM is a farce. We all know they misused the funds that were raised. It's a big, virtue signaling, nonsensical organization and movement based in racial pride. It does not help the black community. The black community is very much, again, another farce, because when things happen within the community, they're never addressed. The black on black crime is never addressed. The theft is never addressed. The lack of education, never addressed. Fatherlessness, never addressed. Can we talk about the countless trips to Planned Parenthood?
What the baby? What the baby? Fuck the baby. Fuck the babe. Give you the Bacardi. I'm ready to say fuck the motherfucker. Ready to beat the motherfucking baby the fuck up. You sound like a nigga. Yeah.
Can we look at the stats of black women who go to Planned Parenthood? Are we going to talk about that? No, but BLM, please. BLM burning down black-owned businesses? Are we going to talk about that? Okay, I guess not.
He was threatening
Causing
people.
disruption is not causing violence.
He was threatening people.
Causing disruption.
Semantics.
Causing disruption is not causing violence.
And the people there helped him also. And we know that he helped them.
I don't know what that has to do with BLM. Random people on a train.
Because BLM is being criticized for their lack of action. It's being criticized because it's a fake movement, because it doesn't really care about black lives. That's why it's relevant to the conversation, ma'am. Means I'm not a liberal.
BLM. Random people on a train is not Black Lives Matter.
BLM showed up for that. They did.
Showed up for what?
BLM showed up threatening white people, saying that they were going to go get white people now. They
BLM
did.
protested.
BLM New York.
BLM protested. Where did you get that from? You see, your sources are not, you're not able to cite your sources.
In
Please
New York.
go sit down.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's not the truth. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. Nothing you say is actually the truth. Nothing. You're not even American.
There we go. Boom. And there we go. You see how they discredit him? He's very much American. He can show his American passport, but once you try to discredit someone's knowledge or points of view, and you use their origins to do it, you've already lost the conversation. You've already lost the debate. And they've done that to me how many times now? How many times have I been told by the BLACKTIVIST, stay out of American business, you're not even from here? And I'm like, and so what? I'm not from here, and yet exactly I have a better perspective because I've seen it on both sides. I have lived in a third world. I know what police brutality looks like, and that's not what it looks like. This is just victimhood and screaming and lack of accountability. But they will use that line on me to discredit my knowledge. Okay? So I want you to pay attention to that. This is her finishing line after she chased him off.
You're not even a black American.
You're not a black American. So he's still American. Oh, the tolerant left. I'm not a liberal.
The daughter of an immigrant. It is imperative that black people from other places understand the disparate difference that they exist from black people in the United States. It is not the same, period.
Thank God for that. It's supposed to be an insult. You're not like us. Hallelujah for that. Thank you so much, Jesus. Yeah, thank God I was not raised in the ghetto to be told my skin tone controls my entire life, that the cops hate me for being black, that I can't drive while black, but that I am a victim, and that I'm oppressed in a country where I'm not oppressed, and that everyone hates me for my skin tone. Yeah, thank God. Thank God. Thank God I don't speak Ebonics. And I hate the fact that I understand it better now. I want to go back to not understanding it at all. That's the black experience. Count me out.
And also,
and xenophobia is also showing.
And ultimately, the best effort that we can do as a diaspora is to lead in understanding.
Diaspora. To check out my diaspora playlist. I hope we start a playlist, but check out a video either here or here about the diaspora.
Not in judgment. So when
not in judgment. How about you call it accountability?
I am talking to somebody from Sudan, from the Congo, from Angola. I am listening to understand their experience, not to undermine it. And I refuse to allow anybody from Grenada, from Angola, from any other place to come and try to undermine the experience of black Americans.
Why is it when you call out the negative traits of the black community, you're told you're judging them and you're being divisive? No, I'm being factual. I want to be accountable because that's the only way people are going to grow, is to be held accountable. Excusing yourself and saying you cannot do it and screaming racism and being xenophobic toward people who are criticizing you is not the way to go either, honey. Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot.
I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the Black community would be the stopping of violence, especially Black on Black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently, a $50,000 check. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%.
It would.
We had the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that Black people kill each other, according to the FBI?
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
Now she's discrediting him because of his age. You know, she should be embarrassed that she's a 44-year-old woman who still believes this nonsense from a liberal arts college, instead of putting down a young, upcoming conservative man whose masculinity has been mocked by the feminazi movement. Instead, she wants to mock him and discredit him because he's younger than her. Age ain't nothing but a number. I have learned that the hard way. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're wiser. Ugh.
White people are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
From America, the same America you live in.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way.
Statistics lie all the time, but she's using her own statistics. She's not even using statistics. She's just mouthing things off just because she's triggered.
So if you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of Black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
Oh my God, shut up. Shut up. Help me, Jesus. Okay. Now here, she herself has disproven systemic racism right there. If let's go by system, let's system is systemic oppression. Let's call it systemic oppression because before you guys come and say, oh, Chinese people are not Black, they're minorities. Let's call it minority systemic oppression then. Just include everyone. It's very inclusive. So she's going to argue that Chinese immigrants doing well is a false equivalent to comparing them to native-born Americans who just happen to be dark-skinned. And she's going to say these guys are definitely better placed because they chose to be here. We don't want to be here and we're treated like shit. That's why we don't do well. And they do well because they want to be here. Well, you just proved that an immigrant can do better than you because it's all about the mindset. I'm going to insert a clip here from 2020, I think. Maybe 2000, yeah. It's the first time I ran into John Dawson. He's an amazing, amazing conservative creator. And African Lioness, another very conservative creator from Nigeria. And he was talking about how immigrants' mindset is what drives them to succeed in America. And he basically debunked systemic racism right there and then in the same video.
So Black immigrants that come over to the United States, basically anybody post-slavery, oppression, all that different stuff, come in here dirt poor. I mean, have less money than you could imagine. I'm talking about they get here with $0 and they got to figure out a job. And they all move into the ghetto with other Black people. So at that point, the playing field has been leveled. They're both impoverished Blacks. No one cares where they came from. How come the immigrant Blacks have a staggeringly higher success rate than American Blacks? When they both have the same skin color, they're both living in the same circumstances, and apparently they're both targeted by the system the same. Everyone wants to tell me it's not mindset. Mindset can't change. Mindset can't fix this problem. Then why are certain cultural differences in Black people making them successful and certain cultural traits in Black people are making them not successful? It's not the skin color we need to change. It's the mindset behind the skin color.
That video got a lot of views and it got a lot of triggered Blacktivists. When you call someone out, it's like, let's give you an analogy because Americans love football, which I call rugby, but you all call football. It's fine. It's okay. We can argue another day. It's like being the team on the home field. Is it called the home team? You're playing in the home team, and then you have a visitor team coming over, and it does better than you. Why is that? You know the turf better. You've practiced on that field better. Why are you failing? Same thing. When an immigrant comes to your country in quotation marks, because you like gatekeeping the country you hate, which I find it very hilarious, by the way. I don't know how that works for y'all. Liberal logic, I suppose. When an immigrant comes and does better than you, and yet you're still here crying racism and oh, I'm oppressed and victimhood mentality and I hate the world and I hate y'all, and the immigrant is like, deuces bitch, I'm gonna go and work my 3 jobs and do whatever I need to do to get ahead of you. And you don't see the equivalence, and you call it false equivalence because you can't be held accountable, you look like a dumbass. Okay? It's not the way to say that. Explain why the visitors do better than you when you're on your home turf crying racism and these people are doing better than you and continuing to grow. It's a mindset. You have a poverty mindset. You have a victimhood mindset. That's what he's trying to debunk. But you're not going to listen because you have racial pride. Your pride is everything.
I don't believe that happens at all. What? No one here is in.
Are you
being
acting
impinged on
right now?
anything.
Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America.
Me neither.
What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel.
Only the blacktivists, only the racist black people feel safe around each other. The rest of us know better. No. I'm not about that life.
But they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor?
Boom.
When black men are more likely to kill me.
Her giggling is her rebuttal.
This is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion.
No. And thank God that you're not my mama. If you're my mama, I wouldn't have wanted to come into this world. Imagine teaching your child they're a victim, but also to hold pride in the fact that they're victims and to be completely allergic to accountability. How are you going to raise your child that way? And expect them to be a productive member of society? How?
So let's check that now. Okay. So
respect is earned, ma'am. You're not acting respectful. You're going to disrespect this young, but you're demanding respect from him. Respect is not demanded, it's earned.
On a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country.
I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to finish this up by saying that we all know what's going on in the country right now. Equality was achieved quite a while ago, okay? There's nothing a white person in America can do that a black person cannot do. If anything, it's the other way around. There are things black people can do that white people are not allowed to do. They're not allowed to say they experienced racism. They're not allowed to have segregation and have white-only campuses and white-only dorms because they'll be told they are being racist. Black people are allowed to have black-owned businesses. White people aren't. So if we're going to look at reality and what's going on, let's open our eyes. Let's call a spade a spade. What I'm going to say about this woman has a lot of self-reflection to do, but she won't do it, and I'll tell you why. She holds a lot of racial pride, and she's very narcissistic and very full of herself, so she will never admit that something could be wrong. This is coming from someone who is a former Democrat. I once really fought for BLM until I started learning a few things about George Floyd, the fact that he was not exactly innocent, that he did not comply. After experiencing my own experiences with the white police in America and taking a deeper look at what's going on in the black community and the lack of accountability, my gosh. They claim over policing, and yet it's like, are you really over policed? Or are you guys just committing a lot of crimes? And it's always the blue cities and the blue states, aka the Democrat cities and the Democrat states. So there's a lot more going on here. But the essence of it is there's a lot of indoctrination that has happened with this woman. She says she's 44 years old. Imagine being a 44-year-old who believes you're a victim, but then floundering your degree as if it means anything. It just means you have a degree in indoctrination. So I guess good for you. You refuse to take accountability of what the black community has done. You hold a lot of racial pride because it's all black this, black that. Your mind is so closed to blackness that you don't want to see anything else. You refuse to take other people's opinions seriously and you discredit them because you disagree with them, so you're not going to learn. To have an open mind, you have to be willing to go to someone's level and try to understand where they're coming from. You're not willing to do that because you feel you know everything. And I do wish that they had more experienced debaters at this. I mean, they tried. This is a group of younger people, and obviously they were intimidated by her. I get that vibe, but they were intimidated by her. I wish I was there because I'd have held my own. I have done it before. I have counter-protested against liberals, and I know all their lines. And I am closer to age to her. You know, I'm going to be turning 39 next month, so I feel like she couldn't have used the age thing. And I know how to rebut whatever she says to me. You know, oh, you know, you're older, you're younger than me, so what? Oh, you're not from here, you're being xenophobic. I'm very much as American as you are. I have an American passport. If anything, I'm a better American because I understand and appreciate the privileges this country gives me that you take for granted. I don't think I'm a victim, you do. She's going to keep perpetuating this nonsense of victimhood, and we can't have a conversation. But that's what I'd have told her. I would not have spent that long talking to her, to be completely honest, because... But anyways, let me know your thoughts, y'all. She claims she's not a liberal. She's probably a leftist, which is on the other side of liberalism. She's on the other side, Marxist, full-on, blacktivist. She probably calls herself an FBA, from what I can tell. But anyways, this is very interesting. I need to wrap it up, but I hope you guys had fun with me. Oh, not okay, fun. The only thing, like I said, I agree with her on was the race construct. That was it. Everything else was... But I hope you will like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As always, I will see you in the next video. Kenyan Hippie out.